This is the Hyundai i20N. It is a lower cost alternative to the i30N, and it is a front wheel drive practical hot hatchback with a manual transmission, and it's priced just a little bit over 32,000 Australian dollars. And in this review I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. To do that, I'm going to talk about the options, the exterior design, the interior, the practicality, the technology, the upgrades to the powertrain, and then I'm going to drive it. Let's start this video talking about a brief overview about the i20N. It is the type of vehicle you should consider if you're looking at things like the Ford Fiesta ST, which has now been discontinued, as well as the Volkswagen Polo GTI. And the i20 in Australia is only offered in this performance variant, and in addition to that there are 5 colours to choose from. And lastly, before we start the tour, a big thank you to my channel sponsor, driver.com.au. They are designed to get you the best finance deal, comparing the best rates, and the whole quote can be done online within minutes with no impact to your credit score, and there are no hidden fees. And if you sign up using Driver, you are going to receive a free $150 fuel voucher only if you use my personalized link down below. So let's continue on with the tour. Let's now talk about the design of the i20N. So up the front you have a set of LED headlights along with LED daytime running lights, and a set of fog lights down the bottom with additional airflow up front with the gloss black radiator grille and little air slots on the corner here to feed air onto the brakes, as this does have upgraded brakes over the standard i20N. And if we move towards the side view, you have 18-inch forged alloy wheels wrapped in Pirelli P0 tyres, which were uniquely designed for the i20N. Other key features include gloss black mirror caps, rear privacy glass, and this stripe down the bottom with an N logo on the side skirts. And if we move towards the rear design, you have LED rear tail lights with a light bar in the centre, huge rear wing finished in gloss black, including a rear diffuser with additional red striping down the bottom, and an exhaust pipe which looks to be replicated from an Audi RS3. So as styling is subjective, let me know down in the comments below of what you think of the design, but for now I'm going to move on to the interior. Okay, before we climb inside the i20N, you have keyless entry, a remote key, and push ignition start. And once you're inside, a couple of things you will notice is the steering wheel. It is very nice to hold and looks very bespoke with the blue and red buttons. There's also a dual screen setup and these really nice sports bucket seats. And in terms of build quality, there is soft padding on the doors themselves, but it does get a little bit durable on the top here and on the dashboard and along here as well. But overall, for a car a little bit over $30,000, considering it is a performance car, it is what you would expect within this price point. The seats themselves have loads of manual adjustment, and they're very nice to sit in as well, and the steering offers both manual tilt and reach adjustment. There's also single zone climate control, and if we move on to infotainment, it all runs off this 10.25 inch touchscreen display. Using the system itself, it is pretty responsive. There's also some touch sensitive controls down here with a physical knob for the volume and physical buttons on the steering wheel for shortcut functions. In terms of key features, you have inbuilt satellite navigation, voice control that only works with smartphone integration, and for media you have FM, AM and DAB radio, USB music and video, along with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which are both wired. This is what Apple CarPlay looks like. As you can see, it takes up the full screen, pretty clear and easy to use. We've also got a 7-speaker Bose audio system, and for performance functions you have an N mode, so as you can see it shows you a lot of information about the car, showing your engine and oil pressure, turbo and G-force, a lap timer, and a little sub menu that shows your racetrack circuits like Sydney Motorsport Park and Wakefield Park Raceway. And these N mode buttons themselves are the driver's custom drive modes. You've also got auto rev matching, so when you downshift, if you press this button here, it'll automatically increase the rev when you select a lower gear. And ahead of the driver is a 10.25 inch display where you can configure the center with additional sub-menus, including fuel consumption, driver assistance, and your media functions. There's also a drive mode select, so if you push this button here from Eco, Normal, and Sport, it changes the theme layout that makes it look a lot more sportier. And for safety and assistance, you have a reverse view camera with parking guidelines, front and rear parking sensors, and if you press this button here, a top-down view. You've also got blind spot monitors on the wing mirrors and autonomous emergency braking, lane departure warning, and a lane keeping assistant. And this car does have the ability to steer itself within its lane, along with standard cruise control. And lastly, moving on to practicality. So the doors themselves fit a litre of water with additional side bins, decent storage in the centre as well with 2 small little cup holders. You've also got wireless phone charging down here with 2 USB-A charging ports and a 12-volt socket, and a decent size glove box just down in the center here. Let's now move on to the back seats inside the i20N. So I am a full-size adult and I've got this front seat set in my driving position, and as you can see I've got good knee room, toe room and really good headroom considering these are bucket style seats. Other key features include a phone holder with a USB-A charging port, single mat pocket here, and on the doors decent door pockets. You've also got 2 ISOFIX points on the 2 outboard seats, and right behind me there are 3 top tether points. Let's now move on to the boot space. So you have 310 litres of capacity, and as you can see, nice wide opening, plenty of space, including these tie down hooks and this net here. It is also a dual floor setup, so you can lower this down if you require additional space, and underneath the second floor is your space saver spare tyre. You could also lower this parcel tray as well if you require that to be out of the way, or you can remove it altogether just like this quite easily. And when you drop the second row, that gives you a little bit over 1100 litres. So overall, this is a very practical small little hatchback. Let's now move on to the powertrain. So under the bonnet you get a 1.6 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, and it's also the same powertrain you will find in an i30N, producing 150 kilowatts and 275 newton meters of torque, paired exclusively to a 6-speed manual, sending power to the front wheels via a limited slip differential. And the whole body itself has been reinforced with new stiffer suspension, upgraded brakes and tyres, and it weighs just over 1200 kilograms. Put it into N mode. Let's now move on to the driving impressions, starting with parking. So you get the reverse view camera with front and rear parking sensors, really good all-round visibility, decent dual wing mirrors, really good visibility, decent wing mirrors, and a decent rear window. And the car itself is quite small, so it's easy to reverse in tight spaces, and as you can see, that is easy to do. It's also got a really good turning circle, and it's very nimble around the city, and the clutch is very easy to manage. And in terms of comfort on the road, it is a little bit firm, being a performance hatchback, but that is something you should consider buying a performance car anyway. But the ride isn't unbearable, it is quite quiet, it is quite comfortable, the seats hug you in really nicely. However, in terms of fuel consumption, I've averaged between 7 and 8 litres, which is very good for a performance car. And in terms of acceleration, just drop down to second. It's also got the rev matching, which helps if you haven't mastered heel and toe. For a little car, it's a very fun vehicle to drive. So as a wrap up, what do I think about the i20N? Well, compared with the Volkswagen Polo GTI, it is a little bit more firm and hardcore, but you can easily live with the i20N and quite affordable, and considering the equipment you get, it has a fantastic powertrain and it's a great cost alternative to the i30N. So I hope you enjoyed the film. Please give it a like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.